Brace yourself, Jester Festival is coming and double experience boost along with it. In this video we'll talk about 5 best ways to farm experience during the festival. I picked the most reliable, repeatable and efficient ways I could think of that wouldn't suffer from high interest during the event, so there will be a lot of instanced stuff. The festival will start at 26th March and last until April 2nd. Not long after, we will probably have another double XP event, Anniversary Jubilee. If you want to grind, make sure to get yourself training armor. The difference it makes is huge and going without it is simply a waste of your time. If you need some guidance with building your farm set, make sure to check out my video about that will be out in a couple of days, or maybe it's already here as you are watching this. All of the numbers shown in this video were measured on 15 level character with full purple training gear and no experience boosters. Before we move on to the list, I want to mention Overland farms and public dungeons. Those sources are pretty solid, but they have some downsides that get even worse during the festival like this. With too many trying to farm this way, efficiency drops drastically. Not only experience spreads among players more, so each of you get less and less, but also random people not knowing what's going on might be getting in your way and ruining the pools. If you like to learn more about those methods though, I recommend reading Alcast guide that will be linked down below. Overall, Overland and public dungeons farms are out of the list. Boost for finishing random normal dungeon or battleground is nice, but unfortunately it applies only once per day per character. Keep in mind that this boost is not affected by your training gear, though experience scroll, psychic ambrosia and event booster will work. Total experience gain in the dungeon itself can vary from 70k to 90k, depending on number of killed trash pack, giving you total average of 160k experience per dungeon, before experience boosters. Assuming you can complete 3 to 4 random normal dungeons per hour, you would get 540 to 720k experience. That's fairly good, but nowhere close to our podium list, as you will see later. Also, the number of dungeons and battlegrounds you can complete is limited to the number of characters you own, and dungeons can take way longer than expected. The other thing you have to keep in mind is the queue time, and this can vary from no time in queue for tanks to 15 minutes for DDs. It makes this method quite unreliable and hard to cycle, and since we are talking about some serious grind here, we need some serious ways. So, what would be 5 best methods of experience grind for the event? Number 5. Dolmens. Okay, hear me out on this one. I find Dolmens the most accessible and reliable of all Overland ways of farming XP for the event like that. You can finish one dolmen under 2 minutes, giving you 360 to 840k experience per hour. Why such a big difference? Just like with other Overland methods, experience earned by killing mobs decreases drastically with the number of players, but you get fixed amount for every finished dolmen. Great thing about dolmens is that you can do them with any character at any level. All you need to do is go to zone, type +dolmen in zone chat, accept the invite and follow the crowd. It's easy, new player friendly, and you can watch some cats on YouTube in the meantime. Perfect. The best zones for farming are those with shortest distances between wage shrines and dolmens. Most of the people go to Alcast Desert, but due to high population, experience loss is significant. I managed to get way better results in zones like Overland with maximum of 5 players taking part. If gold earned is also a factor for you, you might want to pick Deshan or Burn Korai and hope for Mother Sorrow or Spring and Set jewelry drops.
You ready to drop the goods off?
The only point on the list that doesn't include Slaughter. It can provide highest experience gain per hour, but also comes at high price. Literally, raw gold, or materials, a lot of them. First off, it requires you to have a character with maxed out crafting, at least for alchemy and enchanting, but best if you can include other disciplines with enough motifs unlocked. Having some decent amount of master rate stored or gold to buy them from guild stores will be very important here. Secondly, I recommend getting an add-on called Writworthy. Maybe it's not necessary, but it will make the entire process way faster by automatically crafted selected writs. Best if you have access to Guild House with all of the attuned crafting stations, and then just queue them up and let the add-on do the work for you. Once you have them ready, head to the NPC in one of the Alliance's capital cities, Mournhold in Deshan, Wayrest in Stormhaven, or Eldenroot in Gratwood. Then, eat the booster and start handing over the requested items. Probably you will have a lot of time left on your booster this way, so be ready to head straight to the other farm so you won't waste it. On the way, you will earn a lot of raid vouchers. You can turn them for goodies on the same NPC and then get some gold back by selling the goodies on guild stores. Things that sell pretty well would be research scroll or furnishing plans, but the latter includes some RNG. With 2TC installed, you can figure out what works the best at the moment. Each provisioning, alchemy and enchanting card is worth 12.6k experience, and each blacksmithing, clothier, woodworking and jewelry is worth 18.9k experience. 20 favorites from my bank you are seeing on the screen right now took me less than 4 minutes to craft, and would probably take an additional minute to hand it over to the NPC. I would earn around 350k experience in just 5 minutes, so equivalent of 1 hour in Alikir Desert. It has the potential to be the most efficient way of farming experience per hour, but it highly depends on your personal efficiency and raid availability on the market, so it's quite unpredictable. Due to high prices and high effort, I placed it low on the list.
Ah, more guests. Welcome. The others have already started their meal.
Number 3. Skyreach Catacombs. This one is going to work extremely well during the event. Due to instanted nature, you and other players won't get into each other's way trying to farm. It's not very difficult to run solo, although requires some preparation. I recommend having at least 300 CP, decent gear and AoE skill setup to make sure you can nuke all of the mobs. If you are new to this, you can kill groups separately until you feel more comfortable pulling them all together. Even though you can successfully farm it solo, you need other player in the party to be able to reset the instance. Although they don't need to be online at the moment, so if your friends or guildies have characters they rarely use, it can be perfect fit. From the other hand, if you and your grinding party want to run it together, go for it. There is no experience loss for 2 people. Don't make group any larger though. To reset instance, simply change mode from normal to veteran and back. Skyreach doesn't have veteran mode, so it doesn't really matter which difficulty you set. If you can complete Skyreach efficiently, you can get 1.2 up to 1.48 million experience per hour. That's huge.
Ready or not, the battle is about to begin. For those of you who bet gold on the newcomers, you have my sympathy.
Number 2. Normal Dragonstar Arena. This one might come as a surprise for you. It's the best instance XP farm for fairly new players. I find it the most beginner friendly. All you need is a grind partner and ranged weapon, and then enter it on normal and complete only first arena with boss. Arena is large and mobs will spawn on the edges, and it will take them quite a while to run to you, so ranged weapon is a must-have here. One run gives you 88k experience, and once you get some practice, it can be completed in 4 minutes 30 seconds or even faster than this. It could make you 1.2 million experience per hour, slightly worse than Skyreach, but definitely way easier. More efficient but also slightly more difficult way would be to complete first 3 arenas, giving you total 320k experience in 12 minutes, so potentially 1.6 million experience per hour and more depending on your clear time. The only downside I can think of is I have never played any piece of content in this game that is this boring. It takes ages for the waves to spawn and NPC talks for 30 seconds before each arena starts. Fishing feels like extreme sport in comparison to this. But it's very solid, very reliable and very easy. Side note, if you feel like you want to finish the essay to get non-perfected master weapons, it's not huge experience loss in compared to cycling first 3. You can earn total of 940k experience in 32 minutes, which ends up as 1.4 million XP per hour if you were to farm it.
Let's see if the challengers can outlast our first arena!
Number 1. Normal Black Rose Prison. Another 4 players trial that efficiently completed by 2 can give you insane amount of experience. Right now, it's the best experience farm in the game, though it might be hard for new players since it requires a lot of bashing, survivability, and solid DPS to be efficient. You will also need Mark Maya DLC or ESO Plus sub to enter. All you need to do is enter it on normal with your grinding partner, finish first 4 mob pulls, and leave the instas just before the boss spawns. If you find it difficult, as your DPS will be significantly lowered with training traits, use sigils. You can make 2.2 million experience per hour and possibly way more. My clears for the measure weren't that efficient. Alright, that's it. To make as much as possible out of your time in these places, make sure to use training gear and experience boosters, either Crown Star ones or Psychic Ambrosia for guild stars. You can boost your Ambrosia up to 1 hour 20 minutes by CP and provisioning passives. Do you plan on grinding CP or power leveling your character during the Jester Festival? Which method will you use? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you do find this video useful, you can help me immensely by leaving a like or sub. See you later. Bye!